I've muted everyone.
So one of the things I was laying in bed at night, and I just had an insight that I had spent my entire life being manipulated by uncomfortable sensations. And we think of them in terms of emotions, but emotions are sensations in the body. They're not something different from that. And Trungpa's insight that we constantly run away from anything that's uncomfortable is correct. We begin to shut down. And the guy who founded bioenergetics, Alexander Lowen, said, we cut ourselves off right here. We go live in our heads. And when they ask kids, I think they mentioned this, ask kids, what is your body for? They said to move your head from room to room. And that's where most of us are. We're not living in the real world. We're living in a simulated reality that our brains create. And as Michael Singer says, it has just enough correlation to reality to keep us from bumping into the furniture. And I like
And we're
that.
not living in our body.
And we're not living in our bodies. So this whole embodied spirituality that's emerging is emerging precisely because we can't connect with the world of energy or spirit except through our bodies. That we can't have a meaningful relationship and connection. But to be able to do that, we have to be able to increase our tolerance for discomfort without learning to close. And so that's again part of what we're doing in our sitting. Uh, when Pema Chodron wrote her book, How to Meditate, she says, we're developing courage because things are going to emerge that are difficult. And when we learned not to close down, not to run away, to learn to sit with that, not in a masochistic kind of way. There's no brownie points. It's like we say in the gym, no pain, no gain. But then the corollary of that is too much pain, no gain. So if we try to go too much in our sitting, we're going to have a rebound effect and we're going to shut down. So learning to find that place, just this much, just this much, this much. Okay, I'm at my limit and I really want to run away. I'm going to take 3 more breaths and then I'll run away. So we act as if closing is the enemy, and in many ways we need to make peace with our defenses. I'm so grateful for my defenses because they kept me safe when I couldn't protect myself as a child. They're there for a reason. They're not the bad guys. And learning to acknowledge them, honor them, and then invite them to let us experience life a little bit more fully than we have been is the skill we're working on. I've got to go ahead.
So there's that balance,
Yep.
really, that you're talking about, which is equanimity.
Which is the equanimity.
Yeah.
So I've got a little poem that I found from Rilke in his Book of Hours. God speaks to each of us as he makes us. And then he walks with us silently out into the night. And these are the words we dimly hear. You sent out beyond your recall. Go to the limits of your longing. Oh, fuck.
Mm.
If that doesn't just slay you right there, then you really don't understand what we're about. Go to the limits of your longing. Open yourself totally to life. Let that emptiness, that longing that you feel, bare your heart to embrace everything that's out there. He says, embody me. Embody me. I'm both the pleasure and the pain. Flare up like a flame and make big shadows I can move in. Just let that light shine. God, not only the shadow, the light, shadow, likes moving in the shadow. Let everything happen to you, beauty and terror. Just keep going. No feeling is final. Don't let yourself lose me. Okay? Pass through it all. Any feeling you can't tolerate, you're made to tolerate it. It's not going to be final. Move beyond that. Nearby is the country they call life.
Mhm.
Might want to visit occasionally. You will know it by its seriousness. Give me your hand. Give me your hand. Know it by its seriousness in this age of pain. The world's pain surrounds us, and we go to the extremes of either denying it or being so overwhelmed with it that we shut down. How do we sit with it? How do we take its hand? How do we invite it on the cushion with us? So we'll get a little practice tips here from your.
Speaking of cushion, are we going to the
I
cushion?
guess we're going to the meditation room.
Okay.
Any questions on our trip in? If someone wants to.
All right. All right, let me pull up this said meditation. From Jack and Tara. Okay, here we go again. I don't know why it wants me to sign in, but I'm not doing that, so no. Let's just start again. Okay. I had this trouble last night when I was trying to pull it up. All right, I'm starting again. Good. All right. So this will conclude the chapter on basics and the body. And this lesson today is called Working with Intense Sensations. And typically it's about 10 minutes long. And then following their bell, we'll meditate until about 20 minutes are up. And then we'll ring you out. Okay. So I'll get my volume turned up. Okay.
During these past few sessions of bringing mindfulness to the various sensations in your body, you may have encountered some level of physical pain or discomfort. We've been talking so far about simply remaining present with sensations, whatever they are, but then you might wonder, is it a good idea to hang out with pain? Why focus on the discomfort? How about doing something to get rid of it or take our mind off it? Perhaps you might even recall George Carlin's advice. My philosophy, he said, is no pain, no pain. From a survival perspective, pain's a call for attention. And certainly it's important to respond in whatever way seems appropriate in taking care of ourselves. But what if you're in the midst of pain? You just can't get rid of it, a migraine, a headache, a backache, or you just had surgery. What if pain relievers or other attempts to reduce it just don't cut it? Or even you're having a minor discomfort and you know that rushing to get an aspirin isn't really necessary. Our attention fixates on the pain and it flavors everything. While we can't avoid unpleasant sensations, we can avoid the resistance that leads to pain dominating our awareness. Resistance to pain brings suffering. With mindfulness, the unpleasant sensations we call pain may still arise, but we're no longer suffering. We're no longer wrapped around it, controlled by it. A skilled athlete learns how to move with pain, not fighting it. A woman giving birth can allow the pain of contractions rather than tightening against them. Research has actually affirmed that for those who practice mindfulness, subjective ratings of pain are reduced. With a non-resisting mindful presence, we open a spaciousness that holds the pain with more ease. Like putting a tablespoon of red dye into a glass of water, the whole glass turns red. But what if you put a tablespoon of red dye into a lake? The lake is big enough to allow the dye without trouble. In the same way, mindfulness opens a spacious awareness big enough to hold the sensations of pain with greater ease. And with this spacious awareness, we can notice that what seemed a solid mass of pain is actually a changing constellation of sensations. Within the pain, there is space around, between, and within the sensations. Like everything else, the pain is ever changing, rising and passing. It's not a solid, impenetrable, unchanging block. Pain becomes workable. It's important to note that mindfulness is not always the wisest or even a possible response to pain. Sometimes it's most skillful and compassionate to redirect your attention or to do other things that bring more ease and comfort to your body and mind. But as with all aspects of your mindfulness training, your capacity to find balance and ease in the midst of discomfort will grow with practice and will steady you in all the challenging domains of your life. Let's try this. Allow yourself to settle into a comfortable seated position. As you become still, take a few moments to collect your attention with the breath. Relax with the inflow and outflow. And continue with a calm, clear attention on the breath. And remember, each time the attention wanders, gently bring the puppy back, a kind, steady return. And now open your attention to the sensations in your body, scanning for any area of discomfort. If you find unpleasant sensations, gently guide your attention to that spot in your body. And if there's no area of discomfort, practice attending to any area of the strongest or most distinct sensation. See if you can bring a curious attention instead of the word pain, or if there are unpleasant sensations. What are these sensations actually like? If it feels helpful, you can make a soft note: pulling, burning, throbbing, twisting, hardening, fire, noticing all the aspects of the experience. What is their texture, density? How large is the area of sensation? Where's the edge of what feels unpleasant? Is there a color associated? And now sense the space outside of the pain, breathing gently. Can you let the sensations float in this larger space of awareness? You can even sense the space between the sensations. Now you are simply witnessing how the sensations continue to unfold. Notice, do they become more dense and solid, or more diffuse? Do they move, or change, or morph into another kind of sensation? Keep the same gentle presence, allowing the sensations to be as they are and unfold as they will. If at any time your mind becomes tired, fearful, reactive, if the experience feels like too much, gently guide your attention back to the breath, or if more helpful, to a place in your body where there are pleasant or neutral feelings, a place to regain resilience, balance, and perspective. For now, continue offering a gentle presence to the strong sensations and moving back to your resting point as needed, opening with kindness and interest to the sensations that call your attention. Remember, this is not a marathon or an endurance contest. Rather, you are learning the art of being a mindful and compassionate witness, finding a balanced presence amidst the changing currents of life, increasing an inner sense of ease, strength, and freedom.
All righty. Questions, comments? Unmute yourself to talk. Everybody's muted now.
Or press the space bar.
Or press the space bar.
I liked the reminder of the red dye in the water.
Mhm.
Is a great visual to remind us to open up, just open up. And the more you open, maybe the less that sensation disturbs.
Less intense.
Yeah.
Less intense.
I've recently had, I've been putting off hip replacement for 20 years, trying to work on it otherwise. And recently it will flare up in one day so bad that I can't walk 5 feet. And it takes me 5 minutes to turn over while I'm laying on the bed or the ground. And the pain is just astonishing. And it'll go away and I'll be able to dance the next day. It's so strange. But when it's there, I'm aware of how it occupies all my attention. And then I resist it. And then I've got not only the pain, I've got my resistance.
Suffering. Yep.
So this was a good meditation for me to remember to, not add resistance to the trouble.
Unpleasantness.
No add-ons.
Yep. Yes, you and Linnell are both studying spirituality by hip torture. She's back doing 7 yoga classes a week, and
So I highly recommend hip replacement.
It's been a game changer. Robert?
You know, when you read a lengthy piece from Rilke, enjoyed it very much. And it left me remembering this pretty famous line from modern poetry: "The only emperor is the emperor of ice cream."
Okay.
Oh, Lord.
I love it.
Well,
Ah.
how appropriate for the summertime. You cracked him up. I know that's going to be hard to follow, people, but
E. Cummings, by the way, for those of you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Unitarian minister's
Yeah.
son,
Actually, Wallace Stevens, the Emperor of Ice Cream.
Wallace
Oh.
Stevens. There you go.
Sorry. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
watch out.
you.
Verna's in the house now.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Ah,
Oh my God.
good
You
one.
can tell he's very intelligent by all those books in the background.
Yeah, he's absorbing it by osmosis like I do.
Except Bart actually reads his.
Oh, no, oh my God, no, no, don't tell on me. I'm sure Vern does too.
I bet he does.
All right, anybody else?
I wanted to comment that not only physical but mental tightening, when I have a situation that's uncomfortable, I immediately want to fix it. And as I want to fix it, my world gets a lot smaller and tighter. And so this is a wonderful meditation for just going with it, just letting go and breathe, just breathe.
Right. I mean, specifically, he was addressing bodily sensations, but it definitely works for the mind.
Mm-hmm. And external world. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
anything that causes discomfort or natural tendency is to constrict against it. And Vern, just so you know, part of what I teach is very simple, that this is hell and this is heaven. That almost uh, anything is going to be improved if we can soften to it and open to it. And nothing is made better by constricting against it.
Which is
or
in
avoiding
Brad's
it.
example is
Yes,
the resistance. Yeah.
which is the resistance. Yeah.
That fits right in with a song I'm trying to learn how to play and sing called Throw It Away by Abby Lincoln.
Okay.
If anything, and it fits in with what Blind Saint taught me. You don't own anything that can be taken from you. So go ahead and throw it away while you're living. Give your love, live your life, let it go. Because otherwise, what else can we do but constrict? Open your hand, let it through, she says. It's a really beautiful song.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Abby Lincoln.
Abby Lincoln, write
I
it
would
down,
write
Bart.
it down. Abby Lincoln. And this would be an appropriate time. Where's my phone?
Want me to go get it?
If you would, sure. Thank you. Someone sent me a Pete Seeger song this week that would be appropriate with Vernon Brad being here. Okay, while she's doing that, anybody else? Okay.
Give It Away is a famous lyric from recent pop music. Some of you may recognize that phrase. Give it away, give it away, give it away.
Your way.
Chili.
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
There you go.
And I remember the first time I heard that song, or first few times, and I thought, this is pretty ballsy. This is a little too, past the limits of public broadcast, it seems to me. But
Yeah.
gradually I came to realize it's a very spiritual as well as sensual lyric and a great song, in my opinion. I recommend it.
Thank you. So I'm gonna play this for you. It's called "Old Devil Time" by Claudia Schmidt. If I can get.
Turn it up.
Nope,
I'm
I
just
can't.
saying.
I may
okay.
not be able to play it.
Okay.
Never mind. It's not going to play loud enough.
Okay.
It's called "Old Devil Time" by Pete Seeger, and the woman singing it is Claudia Schmidt. Great song. Okay. Rabbit gone. Anybody else? Tim, what? Have we given you a headache, or are you
Yeah.
deep pondering?
He's pondering.
I think I'm just pondering and feeling I'm the words that I wrote today. The world's pain overcomes me,
Mhm.
and I really underlined that. And then I went back to being in this hospital, and I wonder if sometimes that pain of other people as well as my own, I wonder if it does, and I don't know if it's overcoming me. I don't know if I don't think I become aware of it until I'm in this class around all of these faces. And so I'm thinking, well, why do I have to be here to become aware of it? What happens to me when I'm outside of all of these faces that for some reason I'm thinking I relax, or maybe do I trust more, or do I feel more safe with, or do I really feel a sense of abundance knowing that these faces are here?
Mhm.
All of that is kind of like going through me. So then I can take a breath, go back out into the world, not be angry with anything about it, because it isn't really anybody's fault.
Right.
Just go out, go through it, come back in, do it again, go out, go through it, come back in again. And then the words that I wrote today was soften into it, Tim.
I'm the one that told you that.
I'm laughing because Kathleen is over here saying, honey, I'm the one that told you that. And I want to say, Kathleen, sit down here, but she won't. She won't do, but she will. She can't stay away for too much longer. She's too inquisitive.
I'm glad you're with us, dear.
Oh, yeah, right. What did you say? I'm sorry. But it just
So definitely, I mean, that's why we come together. All right. This
yeah.
is, I was just talking to someone earlier this week about this very thing. We are so used to thinking in temporal and spatial terms. And we need to understand that this Sangha that you're looking at exists and you have access to it 24/7. I think having the visual images and the representations kind of enables us to soften, to open, to feel that sense of reassurance. As Rachel said last week when we closed, that she had felt that inflooding of strength and love and support from the system.
Right. Very true.
This is absolutely essential. If you look, Sangha is one of the 3 pillars of your practice. All right, that any religion always suggests that you be part of a community of like-minded people.
Yeah.
You can't be a Jew without your what is it called? Minion. You can't, Arabs get together and pray 5 times a day. When 2 or 3 are gathered together, I'm in their midst. The isolation, it's impossible to really practice spirituality without some embodiment and connection with a group like this. So definitely, that's what this song is about. She's saying that when I'm broken by the world, my friends come around. When it becomes so unbearable, Rilke loves that line. Things that I can't endure without a friend, he says, without a sister, without a brother. Yeah, life is unbearable without you all. So
It's a place of refuge.
place of refuge.
We take refuge. Take refuge when you sit on your cushion or in front of your screen or get on your yoga mat. Ideally, we can carry that out into the world, and it would support me when I am suffering or most need it or feel disconnected, to pause and check in.
You want to talk about the 3 refuge, the three things to take refuge in? The Dharma is always the one that seems a little like you can understand the Sangha and the meditation, but taking refuge in the Dharma, you can talk about that. Said half a face.
That, Matthew, I'm going to take a pass on that because that is way beyond the scope of what we're going to do today, but definitely something I will address later. Okay, that too big a bite.
So the 3 pillars are Dharma,
Buddha, meditation,
meditation, and Sangha.
Yeah, so
is what we're talking about.
So Dharma
are the teachings.
Well, it's not
somewhat.
Dharma is the way life is, the way life moves. It's the Tao. It's really profound and impossible to define, which is why it's tricky. But it's basically saying when we're in harmony with life, when we're living life on life's terms, life goes easier. So the minute that we start fighting life, we suffer. So coming to the truth and discipline. The root of the word discipline is disciple. I discipline myself to play guitar like Brad because I love to play music. It's not something I'm forced to do. So approaching truth, learning to surrender to the way things are, is a refuge. It's an ending the fight, ending the struggle. The second chapter in Kornfield's book on Path with Heart says, stop the war, stop the war, stop the war. So what is Rilke says, what is extraordinary and eternal does not want to be bent by us. I love that line. We're constantly trying to impose our will on the world. I want what I want when I want it. And all I want is everything I want all the time. So that opposes me in many ways is what Dharma is.
Vasavada defined Dharma as your essential nature, what you're born to be and do.
But that again is that reality that we powerless didn't create, powerless to change. So internal and external, and that's in that poem that we read. If you remember, he says, what was that? Where God's talking, says he as he makes us and then walks with us silently out into the night. Embody me, embody this thing that I did. So we, I've gotten roped into this thing. And,
Matthew.
Yeah, oh yeah, I was looking at you, Matthew. Rock on, dog, rock on. Yes, we got to go into it. Yes, yes.
Oh.
Oh,
so what was that wonderful line that Alan Watts had in Just So about it's life as we find it, as it is. It's beyond definition. And
you can only experience the great life if you're not looking for it.
Yeah. So a lot of paradoxes included in this. But again, that idea, the word sukha and dukkha. Dukkha is suffering. First noble truth, life is suffering. And what causes that suffering is self-centered desire. So when we strip away self-centered desire, which is the third step, what's left is what we've been at war with. When we take refuge in that, instead of dis-ease, dukkha, we have sukha, which is the root of the word sukhasana, easy pose, easy pose. And that's why it's refuge. It's because I've stopped the struggling and now I rest in life instead of being at war with life.
That was actually our chant at Judith Lassiter's, my recent yoga training. Hayam Dukam Anagatam, future suffering avoidable. That's from the Yoga Sutras. Future suffering avoidable. It's all avoidable.
Except when you try to avoid it, you're stuck in it. So
you can't try too hard. Yeah, I know.
It's gonna grab you by the balls anyway. So. Okay, any other questions, my friends, before we close?
Yes, I've got one. Dharma is a famous word because of Jack Kerouac's The Dharma Bums. And I'd like to hear anyone who would like to interpret that title and the word Dharma in that title, because I think most of us are mystified by where he was going with that. but some of you have probably got an idea to offer. Please do.
The Dharma of.
The Dharma bums.
Dharma bum.
Of, okay.
Come on, Vern, talk about it.
I know. I was going to say, Vern, not going to touch it either, are you? Well, my spin on it, Kerouac and the Beatniks were beginning to explore Eastern religions largely because of Alan Watts's influence
Oh,
on San Francisco.
thank
And he was, that's just a hipster word that I don't think any of his writings have anything to do about. I think it's just a nice title that he picked up with his rebellion against things Western. So I
Thank
don't
you.
know if it goes anywhere.
Yes.
If you want to get seriously into it, Brad, help me out. What's Stephen Levine's son, who's gotten into trouble, has a group?
Peter?
Oh, Dharma Punks. Now, Dharma Punks are a serious Buddhist organization that are kind of radical in their thing. The stuff with if you meet the Buddha on the road, kill him. They
Yes.
are. Oh, in that sense, they may have been Dharma bums. So
I don't remember that, Bart, but I do remember, Vern might remember too, back at the University of Chicago, there was an organization called Students.
for violent non-action,
That's it. That's it.
VNA. Yep. And we would meet on Fridays and pass around tasty little suckers, which were joints. And the chemistry students would make grain alcohol, mix it with Kool-Aid. That's back when the Kool-Aid was safe to drink. And that was SVN8 punch. We had a nude swim-in. Do you remember those?
And of course you were a
Wednesday
member,
nights.
a card-carrying member.
How
course.
can you not be a
Students
member? Students for
For
violent
violent non-action.
SVNA, they arranged to rent the pool at the University of Chicago for a whole year and then put up posters all over campus, free nude swimming. So everybody went to the pool and took off their clothes and splashed around, and every week thereafter it kind of dwindled back to
till it was just you and me and Vern.
Well, it was co-ed, and when the Cook County sheriff heard about it, he said he was going to shut it down. So the university handled it in a brilliant way. When the deputy showed up, the university guard asked the deputy for his student ID. And he didn't have it, of course. And he said, "Oh, I'm sorry, you can't come in." So there were never any no arrests.
I like it.
You know, talk about Rilke. He has a lot to say about nudity. He really thinks people are not meant to wear clothes.
Who
So, Rainer Maria Rilke.
Rilke.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Well, that's very Scandinavian of him. Are you sure he was German? Or he wasn't German? What was he? I'll have to look that up. Anyhow.
Yeah, he was German Austrian, and he has these short stories called the stories from God, from the dear God. You know, Geschichten vom lieben Gott, and he has a good one in there about not wearing clothes. I love that story. So look it up sometime. I forget the name of it.
We will have a
Thank you.
clothing optional meeting sometime soon, everybody.
I know that's
From
coming.
the waist up.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we could do this.
The last year.
I'm not wearing any pants right now.
Well, there you go.
Well, we do that, Brad.
Oh,
So
Oh,
the way we
God.
close is with 3 rounds of Om and 1 round of what developed during COVID, which is the raspberry. It's called the COVID raspberry.
Oh, God.
And it's done in a spirit that I think is the Diamond Sutra. Has the Buddha taught anything? Have we attained anything? Is there any merit gained by what we don't? Absolutely not. So we're just letting it go, apropos of Robert's comment,
all right.
and leaving it all here. All that cannot be understood or loved is expressed through the raspberry.
Thank you.
So,
Take a deep.
here
Oh,
we
you can
go.
unmute your devices
If
at
you
this
would like
point,
to join
if you
us.
like. Take a deep breath in.
Oh.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great week.
Good to meet you.
Next week with Sharon Salzberg.
Yep.
Pass it on. Invite someone.